sitting down today with Anthony Steinmetz for our second employee profile interview thing, and Anthony has been with us for about 3 years.
About 3 years, yeah.
So, you know, we've seen Anthony in some of the clips and some of the stuff that you posted and videos and tests, but in one kind of section, what do you do?
All right, my job is to receive samples from prospective customers, and then I figure out the optimal machine setup for whatever they're trying to accomplish with their product, and then I give them my recommendations, make a video, and send it to the next person in the process.
Cool. Yeah, that was very well put. It's not always as simple as that, but you know, I mean, yeah, it's a fun process, and I mean, I used to be the one that had to be stuck in the lab for a while. I shouldn't say stuck; that's a bad way to put it, but you know, among other things, I had to wear that hat, and then just didn't have any time, I felt like, to do anything else. And then, you know, we gave you a shot at it, and you just kind of took off. So you seem to enjoy it. I mean, you haven't complained about having your own little place up there. So what is it you enjoy the most about being the lab tech here?
Oh man, well, overall, working at Christie Machine, I just really enjoy the shop culture that we have here. We've got a lot of good guys working, and we're all kind of on the same page, so I really appreciate that. But working in the lab specifically, I enjoy the autonomy that I have up in the lab. You know, they just kind of let me loose, and I do my thing and get my work done, and I thrive in that kind of an environment. It's something different every day, so I really enjoy that.
All right, so since you've been up in the lab, you know, you started off like everybody does back in Sandland doing polishing and kind of some of that grunt labor as you got used to the shop, and then now that you've moved into this as your kind of permanent position, what do you feel like, what's been your favorite improvement that you've made as we've given you some liberty to play around with the system?
Probably organizing the shop, or organizing the lab area better. It was a little bit of a mess when I inherited it.
That is an understatement, by the way. It was a fool's laboratory up there, that's for sure.
Just trying to come up with little improvements, you know, whenever I can, to make the process quicker. I just got video editing software, so I can make more professional videos now.
Big plus.
So yeah.
And somebody's knocking on the door. We're going to pause this video and get rid of them. All right, we're back from that interruption. This is all very professional, and people know what we're doing. But okay, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, you improving stuff. So yeah, it's kind of fun, like watching your process evolve. I know how I used to do it just because it was my way of whatever, and I had to kind of learn on the fly, and you kind of had that too. So you know, some of the improvisation is kind of fun to see. But I will say, like, the level of stuff you brought is very professional. It's much more, you're a much more detail-oriented person than I did. You know, but you just finished up kind of a big data collection project in there. So kind of talk about that a little bit. That was a big deal.
Oh yeah, yeah. At the beginning of the year, sat down and made a big list of all the ingredients that we have, mostly dry materials, and then I did a test where I ran the machine at 25, 50, 75, and 100%, and just collected the data on what kind of output we're getting on the machine with, you know, the different materials, and then just made a big spreadsheet.
Cool. So, we like spreadsheets now.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, that's going to be very useful once we collate all that data into something that makes sense to our customers. We're going to have the whole thing on the website with this. This is a big deal. You know, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's going to be a big deal for our customers to have some data.
Yeah.
But so that's about your job. Let's talk about you as a person, and so tell us kind of where you're from, what your background is, where you went to school, and how you ended up here.
Okay.
Basically, give us the history of your life.
History of my life. Okay. Basically, always lived in Northwest Ohio, generally this area, and went to a bunch of different high schools, or a bunch of different schools. And in high school, I went to Sentinel Career Center my junior and senior year for CAD, and then went on to Terra Community College and have my degree in CAD manufacturing, and just been working through college, different factories mostly. Yeah, and I'm here now.
Cool. So, you know, you're not exactly doing CAD stuff every day, but do you think that CAD manufacturing, how do you use that? Does it apply at all to your lab job?
Yeah, a little bit. If I have to make parts, I know how to read blueprints now
Right.
and stuff. So
Yeah,
I understand that.
that's a big deal when you have to all of a sudden improvise and
Yeah.
make something new. That's very much a plus to be able to have you do that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, one of my first classes that I took in college was like a machining class. So, I was introduced to that and didn't do anything with it for years. But now that I'm in the shop, it all kind of came back. So it's kind of neat to get reintroduced to that.
Cool. Very good.
So-
It's been a busy day. People are just knocking on my door. I never get anybody at my door, and then now we're trying to do this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's that's just another plus to having you on the crew. It's nice to have these guys that are multi-talented and can branch into different areas like that and apply all the different areas to the different areas. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So looking forward to kind of the future of Christie Machine and what you're trying to do up there in the lab, keeping it organized and improving our process. What are some of your plans or upcoming projects that you're doing?
Let's see. We're gonna update the interior of the lab and totally reorganize the whole holding area. Where we
Again?
have all of our again we have all of our machines and get rid of stuff that we haven't used in a while and just hopefully just simplify the whole lab area.
We're always trying to drop dead weight. There's a decent amount of dead weight in that holding area. We got like 40 years worth of just
Inventory.
weird things that people have tried and it's either failed or it worked once. But all right, so like in this whole reorganization thing, obviously you're going to be getting rid of a bunch of mutant machines we have up there. But just in the overall catalog, you deal with the dry material machines the most. Obviously, that's like 85% of our business. But what is your in an ideal test? What's your favorite or least unhappy ingredient that you do on a regular basis? What's the easiest thing for you to test and just know what they need?
Sprinkles. Sprinkles
Sprinkles,
are
yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like nuts and chocolate chips also generally pretty easy. So those are good days.
Yeah, there. Yeah, he just had what was that? Cinnamon sugar or something like that. You just had to wear a mask all day.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had that with that and carbon dust.
Yeah.
They can be pretty gross.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And then not to mention the mess it makes in the lab.
Oh, yeah.
So
Onions are bad for that too.
I can imagine, yeah.
You haven't had one of those in a while, have you?
No, it's been a while since we've done onions.
Thank the Lord, 'cause it stinks as well. Like the whole shop smells like onions for days. But
Yeah. Well, I did just get done with cauliflower
Oh,
and
yeah.
cheese.
Mhm.
So the lab smelled real great after that.
oh yeah, this is always the downside of it. Is you either have sticky shoes or dusty shoes. And you have to kind of shed things. And it's
Yeah.
but all right, cool. So like, tell us some of the other things. Like we know we have customers coming in, all that kind of stuff. Kind of talk about how you deal with that when we have customers actually visit for tests, because you had several in the last year. People coming in for in-house testing. So.
Yeah. So they come in. Sometimes they bring a sample. Sometimes they've already sent the sample. An ideal scenario is that they already sent the sample, and I had some time to, figure out an optimal setup for them, and then we just run whatever kind of test they want, and until they're happy, and then
Yeah.
That's it.
You're so succinct in your answer.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to keep coming up with a good question. Oh, on the plus side, if you are a potential customer watching this, if you come here to test, we also go out to some of our awesome restaurants here in Fremont. We got several that are literally within walking distance, and they're some of the best in town. So,
Yeah.
but that's a added bonus thing. So, all right, man. What do you got going on today?
Today I'm finishing up running a basil sample, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
I'm going to set up for some sliced almonds and shredded coconut.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Is that basil working okay now?
it's pretty temperature sensitive, so it was kind of finicky.
That's another thing to talk about, the temperature things. You do a lot of running back and forth to the freezer on some tests.
Yeah.
In some cases, so that's a whole nother video that we'll get into that's more test lab specific, but yeah, that can be kind of fun. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, yeah, you were really easy at giving answers. All right, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks for sitting down with us, and
no problem.
We'll see you again in our next Christie Test Labs video.
All right.
So, all right, man.
Sounds good.